They're gonna get it
That's
with this
one,
too.
two.
They're gonna love this.
All right,
Okay, maybe I'll do that, Sandy.
Yeah.
all right. Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'll call to order the regularly scheduled committee meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, February 21st, 2024, at 7 p.m. Roll call, please, Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Burbett?
Here.
Trustee Caveney?
Here.
Trustee Crowley?
Here.
Trustee Hilly?
Here.
Trustee Johnson?
Here.
Trustee Killily?
Here.
Mayor LaRue?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Seeing there's no public again, I won't open the floor to public comment. Move on to trustee business. Trustee Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Burbett.
I have the same thing.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Hilly.
Nothing tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Caveney.
Thank you, Mayor. First thing on my list to discuss is the results from the zoning board hearing. Late today, I did receive approval from the zoning board of the minutes and also received the signed, Attorney Murphy, what were those documents?
Recommendations and
Yes,
findings.
Yes, the chairperson did sign the recommendations. It also requires a secretary attestation, but I don't know who the secretary is.
It's usually a member of the board. I don't know if the board ever elected a secretary. but-
I think the secretary was Ted Engler, but he was chairperson pro tem at the hearing, so.
He couldn't
does
be
need-
both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does it need to be signed?
I think another board
Secretary.
member should be sufficient to sign as the secretary. It has to be some member of the board. And then at the next ZBA, we just approve that that person was acting as secretary.
Okay, so I can just give you the documents the way they are?
Sure.
Okay. So at any rate, at the zoning board hearing on Tuesday, a couple Tuesdays ago, on February 6th, the board heard two applications. The first application was for a special use for Harmony's Child Daycare Center. Harmony's Child Daycare Center owned the property at 14800 South Cicero. That's the former Daniels Printing Building. And when the tenants in the building move out, they're going to remodel the whole entire building into a daycare. And their application was heard by the zoning board, and the zoning board did make the recommendation to move it forward to the village board for approval. On your desk today, I did give you copies of the site plan review committee meeting minutes. The site plan review committee did make some recommendations. They are attached to this document. Clerk Moscow, is it possible to make this document part of the meeting minutes today?
Sure.
Okay. This document was not discussed specifically in detail during the zoning board meeting, but there are several items on here that are of important note, and I'm going to ask the attorney if he would incorporate some of these recommendations into the final ordinance. One of the matters here had to do with parking. The current plan shows parking on the north side of the building, as well as ADA parking on the north side of the building. The issue with that is that the elevation and the pitch of those parking areas is more than the required 2%.
So, did you state what address and business we're talking about?
Yes, 14800 South Cicero, and it's Harmony's Child Daycare.
Trustee Caveney, if you could get me a copy of the.
Oh, I apologize. I'll give you my copy.
Mayor gave me his, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can incorporate that into an ordinance, no
Okay.
worries.
I had a question about A.
Yes.
It says the current main entrance is on the north side of the building. The current main entrance from Daniels is on the north side of the building.
The current entrance what?
To the former Daniels is on the north side. Is not the south side have an entrance already also for the daycare that's in the same building?
Yes, but that entrance might be at the rear of the building, because that daycare is at the rear of the building. So, yeah.
So what you're saying is they're gonna use the main entrance as the old Daniels entrance?
I believe so. I
Okay.
believe on their plan, yes. I'm sorry. You're
Okay.
correct. You're correct.
But
Jack.
you can't do that because of the slope of the They can't do that because of the slope of the parking there.
The slope of the parking, because they need to have an ADA spot by
Right.
the door, and according to the ADA, the slope, you can't
Yeah,
have a slanted.
I get that, but it was confusing that
Sorry.
you're saying the main entrance is not gonna be on the north side then?
Well, there's something that they'll have to work out in their
Okay.
plans. They
All
still,
right.
yeah, they still have, their plans have not been finalized.
Gotcha.
They're not ready to be
These are just,
permitted yet.
these are just points that they need to correct, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, they still need to address these on their plans. Okay. The other item that was brought before the zoning board was an application. It was a zoning amendment application by the village to amend the definitions of community residence, large and small. The current village ordinance reflects a minimum and maximum number of occupants that can be in a community residence, large and small, and our village code occupancy numbers did not align with the 2018 IBC, which is the International Building Code, and we felt that our ordinance to change is that in some of our zoning districts, community residence, large and small, were permitted rather than having special use. So in any instance where a community residence, large or small, was permitted, it has been changed to special use. And this is in no way meant to limit anyone's intent to open up a community residence, large or small, but the village felt that it's important for all of those types of residential facilities to have a special use. So the zoning board also voted in favor of approving the recommendation, and that recommendation will come before the board as well. So Attorney Murphy, he was the attorney representing the village at the hearing, and he will be drafting ordinances.
That's correct. I'd also just note parenthetically that the changes in the requirements are not ex post facto. In other words, anything that's there now is grandfathered in. So these would be requirements for folks hoping to open this type of community center going forward from the date of the ordinance. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. The agenda for tonight, but wanted to bring to the board's attention is that the building department is going to be going for training. The training is sponsored by the ICC, that's International Code Council, and all of our inspectors currently have ICC certificates, and they're required to do additional training every year. So all of them have been signed up for the month, every Friday for the month of March to do this training that's being offered, and the cost for 3 of them will be $1,800. They're each going to be taking 4 classes, and the classes are $150 a piece. And it is part of our training budget, so I don't believe that I need formal board approval, but just wanted to let the board know that we're going to be spending $1,800 on training. And finally, today, the mayor and I and building inspector Mark Surf and our building official Jay Hoover met with Phil, who is the owner of Buddy Bear Car Wash. And he brought us a couple photographs of a couple of his other facilities. He brought us a mock-up of, and he's got different building layouts based on the size and shape of whatever lot he's able to purchase. So he was able to show us a mock-up layout of how his Buddy Bear Car Wash is going to be. He owns the lot that is on the northeast corner of 145th and Pulaski, and that's where he's going to be building the car wash. And so we discussed it with him, we discussed the project with him, his ingress and egress. There's a couple questions that we need to go back to Superintendent Sperry on with regards to the current sewer line, storm sewer line and the sanitary sewer line, just to make sure that where they're located. And he did have a question with regards to his signage and the signage for right-way. So anyhow, so he's going to be moving forward. He's anticipating, after today's meeting, he is anticipating having his plans finalized in the next 30 to 40 days. and he'll bring them to us for review and approval. He fully understands that he has to go to MWRD for their blessing, so we'll make sure that our our engineer, Dave, is on board and, ready to work with him on reviewing plans so he can go to MWRD. And he's hoping, if everything goes well and there's no hiccups, he's hoping to break ground, I believe he said, by August or September. So we can keep our fingers crossed that by early 2025, he'll have an opening. We'll have a grand opening. Did you want to add anything else, Mayor, about that meeting?
Just wanted to get it out there, because a lot of people have asked that he is looking at breaking ground this year. He's cognizant of all the MWRD requirements and their ordinances, and he knows that process takes several months, so.
Yes.
He did say to August, September, of breaking ground. So, we're excited to have him. I think it's going to be a nice development. And
Yeah.
so, he talked about underground storage. He talked about
Right.
possibly moving the building a little bit further south and maybe doing some above ground retention pond. And also he talked about permeable pavers is
Right.
also a possibility. So it's going to be a nice development.
Yeah, it'll be very nice over there.
Too soon to talk about what's going on in the Moran building. Some people have asked. The new owner is too early.
And we are going to dedicate this newsletter to all the stuff with economic development, so that'll be coming out next week.
The Moran building has been sold to a commercial investor, and he is in the process of splitting the PIN. The Moran building property is not just the Moran building itself, it also includes the All-Star Automotive car shop on the hard corner. We're talking about the northeast corner of 147th and Kilbourne. So All-Star Auto and the Moran building are one property, technically, according to the Cook County Treasurer, one property under one PIN. The new owner is in the process of splitting the property so that he can sell off the Moran building. So that's what's happening with that property.
Perfect.
So we
Things are
just have to
happening.
wait for that process to go through.
Speaking of the car dealer, I know you talked to Chief about the used cars being too close to the street. I drive by there a lot. It looks like they're on their property.
They moved them on
Which car dealer are you
Saturday.
talking about?
They moved them on Saturday, I think.
That one, right?
Right?
Was that the one?
You're talking about right way in Plaza?
147th and Kenton.
Kenton.
Keaton and Kenton.
Oh, 147th and Kenton would either be Mr. C's or,
We had a
Sorry.
complaint.
Or the
Wrong
other
place.
one.
What am I thinking of? Kilpatrick? No.
Kenton.
There's
Kilbourne.
there's two down there. I can't remember. the
So
name
we
of
had a
them.
complaint
One on
from.
Colma or one on Kenton, I think.
It was Kenton. We had a complaint from one of the residents last week, or the week before, and the police went out there, and the owners have moved it, and they were made aware that they can't park there, so I think that problem's been resolved.
Okay, thank you.
You got the
And-
flag up?
And then, so I had the gentleman order a flag, the village one, and then when I talked to Public Works, and hang the one today, I learned that he has some extras laying around, so we'll get that one up as well.
Thank you.
And that's all I have for right now.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Kiley?
Thank you, Mayor. Beautification meeting is tomorrow at 7:15, talking about spring and starting to talk about the garden walk. Anybody is welcome. It's an open meeting, so come if you like. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. We're gonna make sure we're with Public Works and Roy's Landscaping to continue with the water. We're gonna work through all that for the flower boxes.
We have to talk about that, yes. Last year, Public Works did a lot of the watering.
Oh, I always saw Roy's out there with a big water truck.
Roy did some, and when Public Works wasn't busy, in the spring especially, they did a lot of the water to save money. So,
Okay,
Mayor, when Trustee Crowley's done, I do have one more thing to mention.
sorry. Thank you, sir. Trustee Crowley?
Just a couple things. Did you want to talk about the audit? The audit we're going to do?
the audit as far as Lauterbach,
No, as far as ASVAR.
do you want?
Go ahead, you talk about it.
Well, we're trying to find more money under rocks and so on and so forth, because we need it. The projected budget for the next year didn't look too good, so We had a presentation from our friends at Azavar, who we worked with, I believe, since 2017. And we have a couple paths of projected audits for, to make everything equal as far as a gas tax, and also, what was the other one?
The sales tax review.
Well, sales, yeah, we were trying to make sure that everybody, all the businesses were, that were paying money to, that are paying money to IDOR. First of all, we're trying to make sure that everybody is enrolled with the sales tax with IDOR, the Illinois Department of Revenue, and that IDOR is giving the proper amount of money back to the village, its share of the sales tax. And also, we're going to audit, I believe, the sales tax and the liquor tax also. They also are donating a software called Local Gov, which they charge, which normally they charge for, but because we're a good customer with the village, I think we were able to get that for free, and it will help us facilitate tax payments from, we're talking about IDOR and things like that, and the gut tax, but also, it also could potentially facilitate online payments of other things that the residents could pay online. Right now, we can only accept water and dog tags. Dog tags we don't pay online either, right? I don't know.
Last year, we didn't pay anything out.
Okay, dog tags, maybe vehicle stickers. It's a good thing. It was very nice of them to offer that to us. But that's because we've been good partners since 2017. One of the major partners, I think, that they have. So we'll have more results on that. And I think we're going to look at the contract one more time before we jump in, just to make sure everything, all our Ts are crossed and Is are dotted, and should be ready to go, and hopefully get some extra revenue for the next budget year.
For those that want to know, IDOR stands for,
Illinois Department of Revenue.
thank you, if Gene's watching. I got you. All right, that's it?
Back to
No,
Crowley.
Crowley.
Thank you, trustee. Just a couple things tonight. As we were talking about economic development, I know Kathy and the mayor and I have gotten a lot of questions about different property throughout the village, so we are gonna try to dedicate a good portion of our spring newsletter, which will be coming out in the next few weeks, to updating you on all the economic development that we currently have going on around the village. And there's some things that, haven't completely been finalized yet, so we can't give a lot of details, but I know some of the things we'll be updating on. Everyone keep an eye out on the newsletter. It's going to give a good update for all the properties that we can currently discuss. So a lot of things happening and a lot of things moving forward. A couple weeks ago, I had spoke to Attorney Valadez about drafting an ordinance for us for revising our vacant property ordinance. I spoke to him today. We'll have that for our next meeting. I'll get it out to you guys as soon as possible so we can start reviewing that. I think that's going to be key as well in making sure that we continue to move forward on some of the properties that have been vacant for a while that we haven't been able to move yet. We also have some updated ordinances that'll be coming that I hope to have for the board in the next coming weeks from crime-free housing and the ordinance slash, I guess it's an ordinance for our ARPA funds that we will have to memorialize before the end of this fiscal year. That'll be coming in the next couple weeks, so we'll have a lot of documents to be looking at. So I'll get all those out to you guys as soon as possible so that we can review them and discuss them, and if anybody has any questions. The other kind of big thing that was happening around Illinois this week is the governor gave his address for the state budget. It is available online if anybody has a desire to listen to it. And IML has been following it. They've reached out to a number of people. They're going to ask for letters of support for certain things. Our LDGF funds are still not where they need to be, but hopefully we're going to keep moving forward. There is a plan right now to raise it like 0.25% this year and restore it back by 2030 to it's 10% or 2035 or something. We'll see. We desperately need to support those actions so that we get the revenue streams that we're supposed to be getting. And ARPA, I think that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Freddie Murphy?
Mr. President, I have no report this evening.
Thank you, sir. As long as I have my business, or I don't have my business. But just let you all know that Mr. Michael Ganaka did accept the offer to become the building superintendent for the Village of Midlothian. Got him set up for his background check and drug test for Monday, and hopefully we get a start date with a week from then. And so next week at the board meeting, I'll be asking for the official approval of the appointment to building superintendent. Deputy Clerk Harris, you can put that under my business. Appointment of building superintendent. That's all I have. Clerk Moscow.
I have nothing tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. See, there's no further business coming for the board. I'm looking for,
I wanted to just mention one last thing. On Saturday, this past Saturday, I went to the Midlothian Historical Museum. And while I was there, I found out that we have a time capsule there. And the time capsule was put together by Katie Cooney 30 years ago when she was a Girl Scout junior. She was with Troop 522, and I don't know if it was a troop thing. I talked to Katie. She couldn't remember if it was like a troop thing or if she just did it. She couldn't even remember what was in it, but it was, in Girl Scout fashion, it was 2 bleach bottles with the lids cut off and then taped together around the middle. And so I'm working with Marcia and with Katie, and I'm going to get in touch with Nora. And I think that we still have 2 other Girl Scout troops that, are with Nora's group, and get all the Girl Scouts together and have a little celebration at the museum and open up the time capsule. And we're hoping to do that sometime in April. I want to say,
The 14th.
okay, is it a Sunday? Yeah. So anyhow, so also while I was there, Marcia was, showing me like all, some of the sports memorabilia that they have. And we're a little low on some sports memorabilia. She's got a couple of really cool old baseball uniforms from back in the day. She's got a couple of really cool old photographs from some semi-pro football team from the 1940s, I think. So anyways, so I put a message out on Facebook over the weekend, and I'm asking everybody here tonight, if you participated in sports in Midlothian in the last 30 or 40 years, if you have a team t-shirt or like a team group photo that you would like to share with the museum, they would love to have it. So we could use like stuff from T-ball. She's got no T-ball, nothing from T-ball. So T-ball, Little League, Midlothian girls softball, and then of course Midlothian Wildcat football before they merged with Crestwood. So anyhow, so that's what I wanted to add. So if anybody has anything they'd like to share, please get in touch with me, and I'll help get it over to Marcia.
couple comments. Why did you look at Trustee Killy when you said sports?
I did.
I thought she did it when she said time capsule. Sorry.
1940 was when she looked at me, So her football team of 19, I don't know.
According to Kathy Faulkner, Katie Cooney's was the only name she could recognize, Reed. That's how it all came about. And
Yeah.
so tell Katie that she had good handwriting.
She knows.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so
She's already
anyways, that
talked
was
to
really
Kathy.
cool.
Okay. Yeah. And when was it supposed to be open?
It was supposed to be open 5 years ago.
2019.
In 2019, yeah. But like, we knew what the condition of the museum was back then, and Marcia just found it in the store. I'm like, where did you find this? She said, I found it in the storeroom.
It might be pretty cool for us to put a time capsule together from 2024.
It's not a bad idea.
All of Don's old sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very small.
So anyways, so I'm done now, for real.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Seeing as no further business coming before the board, looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.